everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, we'll take you to the debate underway in Augusta, where officials are considering a new way for Mainers to elect president. Plus, Maine is the latest state to accept a new political party that plans to have candidates on the ballot. And this has been a rough start to the snowmobiling season, including here in the Bangor region, where the trails are simply unusable. We'll have those stories along with details on a bad fire at a motel in Belfast last night coming up. Good morning, everyone. I'm Craig Colson. Emma Smith is on vacation for the rest of the week. We thank you for joining us. We'll have all the day's news coming up, but first a check of the weather, and that I'm afraid will turn out to be the big story of the day. It looks like another storm system is moving into the state tonight, bringing very powerful winds, which could cause some more outages out there. We'll have more on the storm coming up, but first we'll get the official details with Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig, thank you very much. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers, offering discounted and a great selection of local produce, meat, and dairy. As we get into things this morning, we have a lot of advisories to break down, and we have winter storm warnings posted till 8 a.m. Wednesday morning for the counties highlighted here in the pink. Winter storm watch is still in the blue here. Some flood alerts also posted as well, and also some wind alerts too. Wind advisories and high wind warnings are also posted through Wednesday afternoon because of some of those gusty winds that will be observed. We also have winter weather advisories along the coast, some flood alerts also posted as well, and also some hurricane force wind warnings and storm warnings along the coast. We have a lot going on here because of the active weather that will be expected to move in. For now, you wouldn't think so. The radar and satellites looking pretty quiet out there, at least in our backyard, but the clouds will be moving in throughout the daytime period today. As we do zoom things out and give you the bigger picture, look at all this right here. This is all tracking from the southwest and going to the north and east, and this will start to affect us coming up later on tonight and the parts of tomorrow. So futurecast moving forward, increasing clouds will be common today. Again, it's later on tonight, especially by around midnight or so, where the snow will move in, and strong gusty winds up to 50 to even 60 miles per hour possible late tonight and the parts of tomorrow as well. So for the rest of today, we'll say upper 20s, mostly cloudy or increasing clouds, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. As we move ahead towards tonight, though, middle 20s, so likely it will be windy as well. The higher totals will be farther off towards the north, and a southeast wind gusting up to around 45 miles per hour at times. As we head towards tomorrow, upper 40s, a wind shear mix will switch over to rain, very windy. Southeast wind gusting up to around 60 miles per hour at times, so power outages may be possible as a result of the wind. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, increasing clouds, temperatures making into the upper 20s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig?
All right, thank you, Devin. Well, this next storm is raising flooding concerns, especially along the coast. This comes less than a month after another significant flooding storm caused some problems inland during a big rain and windstorm. But as Owen Kingsley reports, conditions this time around are a bit different.
Multiple inches of rain Wednesday after a heavy snowfall is a bad combination.
A coastal flood watch is posted for all of Maine's coastline.
If temperatures stay in the low 40s Wednesday, the snow might act as a sponge and absorb much of the rainfall. If the temps rise above 50 degrees, then melting and washed away snow will likely make the threat of flooding much worse.
This ground is frozen, but it's frozen except for that tiny little part that almost touches the house, because the basement's warm.
And it's almost a vulnerable point when you say the water pools up.
Absolutely, you got it. Water pools up and it finds that sweet spot.
Mike Moore with TC Hafford and Wells says that can lead to flooding in a basement of a home or business. He says you can try several things to keep water away, clear your gutters, or add extensions to the bottom. He also says if snow is up against your house's foundation, that may not leave any room for water to drain away.
Snow blow all the way around their house to keep, again, to provide an opportunity for water to shed away from the house.
The state's emergency management agency met with local authorities Monday afternoon to prepare for the next storm, saying flooding is possible. It won't be, though, as severe as what we saw last month.
You can't get complacent. Every storm needs to be taken seriously. We're going to start with enhanced monitoring on Tuesday morning, and then as the storm unfolds, we will elaborate our team and grow as the resources are needed from our county EMAs.
What MEMA is also worried about are those strong winds expected to reach at least 50 miles per hour for parts of Maine's coast Tuesday night into Wednesday, and outages are likely.
And officials say that we may get wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour in some cases. That was Owen Kingsley reporting. We'll keep you updated as that storm progresses. Moving on now, a terrible fire broke out last night at a motel in Belfast. Photos posted on social media shows flames shooting through the roof of the Admiral's Inn on Searsport Avenue. There aren't a lot of details at this hour, but local residents say everyone made it out safely. All of the people who were living there were transported elsewhere, and fire crews remained on the scene well into the night to make sure that fire was out. Belfast Fire Department tells us this morning that the State Fire Marshal's office has been called to the scene to look for a cause. We'll have more information on that terrible fire in Belfast as it becomes available. Former President Trump is asking a Maine judge to hold off on making a decision on the Maine primary ballot case until after the U.S. Supreme Court rules on the Colorado case. In a filing on Monday, lawyers for the former president put forth key arguments for a motion to stay the judge from that ruling. They argue that the Maine court would have no jurisdiction to rule on a federal issue like the 14th Amendment, and that the pending U.S. Supreme Court decision could completely reverse Secretary of State Shenna Bellows' ruling. The filing reads in part, quote, "Even in light of the Secretary's clear animosity and bias towards President Trump, the court should nonetheless stay its hand because the Secretary's ruling may be effectively overturned," end quote. Secretary Bellows has until tomorrow to respond to Trump's motion. Under Maine's law, the judge is required to issue a ruling on this case prior to January 17th, 1 week from Wednesday. Well, there's a bipartisan push to try and change the way Maine and other states allocate their electoral college votes. Our Augusta reporter, Corey Bichard, has the details on what that could mean for future presidential elections.
Because it wouldn't matter whether they got a vote from California or from Maine or from Michigan or from Florida. When every vote counts, it creates a very different way of campaigning nationwide.
It really, truly is a bipartisan movement. It doesn't favor one party or the other.
Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution grants the power to each state legislature to determine how their presidential electors are selected and divided. Maine is already somewhat unique when it comes to this.
Maine has chosen to use a congressional district plan along with Nebraska, while 49 of the other states plus the District of Columbia use the winner-take-all rule.
During Monday's public hearing, one of the main opposing arguments is that entering into this compact will abolish the Electoral College.
Today there is a push throughout the country to replace the Electoral College with this unconstitutional and confusing program.
What we're trying to do today is not to abolish the Electoral College, but to use the mechanics of the Electoral College to allow every American's vote to count.
Proponents of this compact say this will force presidential candidates to pay attention to every voter in every state, instead of just hotspots for electoral votes.
And for all practical purposes, we're electing the president of the battleground states of America versus the president of the United States of America.
Opponents argue this would actually disenfranchise voters by taking away votes from candidates that they would have otherwise went to, such as in 2016 and 2020 with Maine's 2nd Congressional District, which cast their electoral votes for the former President Donald Trump.
And in particular, it disenfranchises every right of center voter in the 2nd Congressional District.
With regards to disenfranchisement, let's remember what we're creating is a system where every voter in every state is politically relevant every time.
The measure will now have a work session before it is voted on in committee and possibly makes it to the full legislature. At the State House, I'm Corey Bichard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Meanwhile, a new political party known as No Labels is making its way onto ballots across the country, and Maine is now the 13th state to approve that party. Our Grace Blanchard breaks down what that could mean for Mainers as they head to the voting booths.
Maine's presidential ballots are expanding as voters now have a third-party option for 2024. Secretary of State Shenna Bellows recently approved the No Labels Party.
That's because they achieved the minimum threshold of 5,000 Maine voters who agreed to enroll in the No Labels Party.
No Labels has been operating in Congress for several years, but recently the party has been making efforts to appear on ballots across the country.
I think we all have to acknowledge that we've never been in a position like this where so many Americans are frustrated with these presumptive choices that we have.
The political party's national director, Joe Cunningham, says they will be offering up a bipartisan ticket following Super Tuesday.
Half of Americans now identify as independents. It kind of carves out that lane for a bipartisan ticket on the ballot
Political experts say there is a distinction between a third party like No Label and an independent candidate.
If they do put forward a candidate, it will be as a third party, and that candidate will be a third party candidate, not an independent candidate. If they ultimately choose not to put forward a candidate, then they have ballot access, but there won't be anybody on the ballot.
According to Secretary Bellows, anybody enrolled as a No Label party member will not be able to vote in the primary elections in March.
Semi-open primary means that unenrolled voters or voters who are no party at all will have a choice. And anyone who is registered in another party that does not have a primary will not be able to participate.
For now, the political party is focusing on attaining ballot access in all 50 states.
The fact is the partisanship has gotten so tough and so impactful. Somebody has to do something about it.
In Bangor, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news, the Maine National Guard may soon see its first female commander. Yesterday, the Veterans and Legal Affairs Committee voted to officially nominate Brigadier General Diane Dunn to replace Major General Doug Farnham as the Maine National Guard's Adjutant General. The role will also make General Dunn the Commissioner of the Maine Department of Defense, Veterans, and Emergency Management. General Dunn spoke at her hearing about how she's looking forward to serving in this new role.
I'm honored to be nominated by Governor Mills. I am deeply committed to serving our state and nation, the members of the department, their families, and our veterans. This commitment is my reason for pursuing the goal to become Maine's next Adjutant General and Commissioner of the Department of Defense, Veterans, and Emergency Management.
The committee voted 8-3 to send General Dunn's nomination for a full vote before the legislature. One of the lawmakers that voted no to the nomination questioned General Dunn on the global war on terror, as well as her thoughts on diversity, equity, and inclusion.
I mean, her answers on the Defend the Guard legislation and her role administering and her oath to the Constitution were number one for me, though I did feel like, you know, she mentioned that promotions in the military were blind, they didn't take in race or gender, but DEI, which she instituted at the college, is the opposite of that. And real life's probably some kind of middle ground of that, but having these binary choices and forcing folks to hire maybe not the best person isn't great, and probably not great for our military. So I think, you know, definitely played into my rationale as well.
General Dunn's nomination will now go to a vote in both chambers before she can be confirmed. Currently, no date for that vote has been set. While Glenn Mosher's position at Ellsworth's police chief remains in question, the Ellsworth City Council made a decision last night regarding his role as city manager.
Item 18, discussion and possible action as a result of the executive session to extend the contract for city manager.
After the council deliberated for more than an hour behind closed doors, almost all the committee members voted in favor of extending Mosher's contract. Stephen O'Halloran was the only committee member who opposed that decision. It's unclear how long the city council will be extending his contract for, or whether Mosher will accept that extension. Mosher was put on indefinite leave as police chief from the Ellsworth Police Department back on December 27th, pending the outcome of an internal investigation. It's unclear where that investigation stands right now. A Winslow firefighter was arrested last Tuesday following a theft investigation. 34-year-old Sean Stetson of Fairfield was charged with stealing in excess of $12,000 from the Winslow Firefighters Association. According to the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office, the department was contacted by the association on December 28th after an internal investigation revealed that several $1,000s were missing from multiple accounts. Stetson was a member of the Winslow Firefighters Association and allegedly started making cash withdrawals back in February of 2023. His bail was set at $500 cash, and he was ordered to not have any contact with any Winslow employees and also not to return to the town property, except to pick up his personal property that's still there. And a Mainer accused of taking part in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol will receive his sentence today. David Ball of Sanford joined the mob as it stormed the Capitol building back in 2021. In October, he pleaded guilty to parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building. His attorneys say he's extremely remorseful and was only in the building for less than 20 minutes, although prosecutors say Ball remains defiant and says he posted on social media that, quote, "I will be sentenced on January 9th for raising my hand and saying USA on the day on that day in the Capitol building, end quote. Prosecutors are asking that Ball serve 21 days of confinement, 36 hours of probation, along with community service and $500 in restitution. All right, the time now is 6:15. Coming up on Good Morning Maine, the recent storms and a lack of snow has created a terrible start to the Maine snowmobiling season. We'll hear what riders are saying about the season ahead. But first, another check of that forecast. A quiet start to the day today, mostly cloudy before the storm arrives. The highs will reach around 28 degrees. Tonight, snow and a mix is likely, with lows dropping down to around 24. Tomorrow, a wintry mix and rain with highs near 48 degrees.
The apprentice program is learning while doing, but also acknowledging that people can't learn while they do with no money. The other important thing to understand is that with our partnerships with SMCC and USM, we've made a commitment that the college tuition for the courses is free to participants. And you have an ability to mold those individuals in a way that you know they're going to be successful and ensure that the work that they're doing is high quality work. It's not just sort of learning out of context. It's successful for the whole person.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
What's the least sexy thing your wife has ever worn in the bedroom?
Granny panties, Steve.
Don't miss Family Feud. Weekdays at 9 on ABC 7.
This is the People's Court.
What were you doing with binoculars looking into her yard? That's creepy as hell.
It's rough, it's tough, and we just can't get enough.
You're both total liars.
Real litigants, real cases, real drama. The People's Court.
On ABC 7.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Snowmobile clubs in the Bangor area have been working hard to restore the trails after the impact of last month's storm, along with the lack of snow. But that 1-2 punch has made many of those trails unusable so far. Our Doug Banks has more.
Riding trails in some parts of the state this winter hasn't gotten off to a great start.
Stayed about the same for amount of trails we have, but the snow's been late getting to us every year. Seems like a little later every year.
According to Al Sweat, president of Maine Snowmobile Association, he hasn't seen conditions like this since the ice storm of '98.
The weather has destroyed a lot of our trails, completely wiped out bridges that the clubs have been rebuilding, and it's just been horrible.
The trails maintained by the Paul Bunyan Snowmobile Club in Bangor cover over 20 miles. On Saturday, members spent the day clearing out fallen trees.
If we get a big windstorm and it takes us 2-3 weeks to clean that up, that may be a quarter of the season gone.
Sweat says Maine's winter outdoor economy is about a month behind its usual pace, not only impacting the riders on the trails, but also the businesses along them.
These supporting businesses, they count on snowmobiling to take them through the winter to the spring, then ATV folks take them through the summertime.
By the end of the week, Sweat says he'll be speaking with Governor Mills to see if there's available federal money to put towards clearing up and improving the trails.
These clubs, they hold chicken barbecues in the summertime and auctions to make it through the winter. And when you get a disaster like this, their money goes pretty fast.
In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And now we've got another big windstorm moving in. Not a good situation at all. All right, moving on now. The Orono Health Association started back in 1969 as a dental program for kids in the area, but over the years it has grown to include more programs, and now they hope to start up a food pantry for area families in need. The food pantry will be located in the same building as their thrift store, which carries clothing, shoes, and even appliances. The Health Association is also involved with heating assistance and scholarships for Orono High School students going into health careers. Organization leaders say the need is real, and they just want to expand their services to help more people.
It's a relatively small food cupboard. It's going to be just dry goods for now, non-perishables. We don't have the capacity at the moment to do things like meat and dairy. Perhaps in the future if we can gain a bigger space. But we're just looking to take a little bit of pressure off of families with things that we can do.
Sonnenberg says they have acquired some grant money to launch the food cupboard, and they will also use proceeds from the thrift store as well. But they're looking for more donations to help get them going. They don't expect to be up and running for a couple more months, and we have a donation and contact information for the Health Association on our website at foxbangor.com if you would also like to pitch in and help. All right, the time now is 6:20. Coming up after the break, an organization that helps people fight addiction is getting an important financial boost, and it's all thanks to a group of caring people here in the Bangor area. Plus, Israel says it plans to use new tactics as it works to root out Hamas fighters. We'll have the very latest as Good Morning Maine continues.
R&K Variety is more than just a convenience store. With delicious homemade food made fresh daily. We offer hearty meals that don't break the bank. Whether it be our delicious chicken pot pie, one of our many savory soups, or a pizza, you can't go wrong at R&K Variety. Looking for a drink after a long workday? R&K Variety is an agency liquor store with an impressive selection. R&K Variety, more than just a convenience store. We're your neighbor, chef, barista, and friend. Stop by today.
Goose River Farm and Meat Store is conveniently located on Route 3 across from Hammond Lumber in Belfast. They have a wide selection of meat and poultry, including beef, pork, lamb, chicken, duck, rabbit, and turkey. Order early for your fresh holiday turkeys.
Create the perfect spaces in your home for 2024 at the Furniture Gallery. Entertain in style this year with a new dining set. Have room for everyone on movie nights with a big sectional and extra seating. Feel more rested with a new mattress from Serta, Restonic, or Nectar. Celebrate the new year with unbeatable values during our New Year blowout sale. Save up to 60% on clearance items here at the Furniture Gallery. Support our Maine family-owned business and save money. Happy New Year from our family to yours. The Furniture Gallery in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
Right now, there's just so much happening in our world. So much at stake at the start of every morning.
Making sense of it all, that's not always so easy.
And that's where we come in.
Good Morning America. We want you to know every morning.
We're right here, and we got you.
A Bangor nonprofit just got a big boost thanks to a philanthropic group known as 100 Neighbors Who Care Penobscot Valley. 4 times a year, each member commits to giving $100 to a deserving charity, pooling their hard-earned dollars together to help a nonprofit in the area. Our Jody Hersey has more.
Times are tough, but 100 Neighbors Who Care Penobscot Valley has been helping to lighten the load by donating a minimum of $10,000 4 times a year to nonprofits in Penobscot County. Stop Addiction New England is a discipleship and recovery program in Bangor that's helping the homeless and those battling addiction. This nonprofit is the latest recipient to be blessed by the members of 100 Neighbors Who Care.
We have a wonderful opportunity to, as I've mentioned many times before, put a little good out there. But this is the apex of that. This is a chance when we go face to face with the charities that we're supporting and turn over the donations from our over 200 member group.
Kevin McGuire is the founder of Stop Addiction New England. He says the funds from 100 Neighbors Who Care could not have come at a better time.
We need repairs on a ceiling that has had some plumbing leakage, and also for a new vehicle. We have 3 vehicles that have almost 1 million miles.
McGuire says both men and women who come through his doors are provided with food, shelter, and the opportunity to tap into their faith and a better way of life.
It's a 9 to 12 month intense, accountable discipleship. Like I said, they become a student of the Holy Bible, and we teach them how to live life skills, work ethics. And we have a little leniency and grace, of course, because behaviors have to change that stem from the addiction.
In March, 100 Neighbors Who Care Penobscot Valley will meet again to hear from 3 more deserving nonprofits that could use a boost. In Bangor, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Congratulations to them. Well, the time now is 6:24. Time to get another full look at that forecast. Some stormy conditions on the way.
Alrighty, Craig, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers, offering discounted and a great selection of local produce, meat, and dairy. Already, we have a lot going on here. So we have winter storm warnings up until 8 a.m. Wednesday. Winter storm watch itself for the northwestern parts of the state till 10 a.m. Wednesday as well. At some point, that will be changed to warnings with some other advisory. We also have some wind alerts that are posted as well. High wind warnings and wind advisories as well. Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour possible. That will cause some issues with the trees and power lines as well. On top of that, though, some more winter weather advisories along the coast, some flood alerts also posted, hurricane force wind warnings also posted along the coast, as well as storm warnings. We have a lot to watch out for with the system that will be on the way. Wave heights aren't too bad just yet at around 4 to 5 feet, but this map's really going to get active coming up soon with the system that will be moving in pretty quickly. But otherwise, though, the radar and satellite, you wouldn't think there's anything going on right now, right? Because everything's looking pretty quiet in our backyard. But as we zoom things out, here's this fanfare right here, though. The system that's really getting its act together with snow across parts of the Midwest, some showers and thunderstorms further down to the south. We'll have our turn for a wintry mess that will be moving in pretty quickly as high pressure tracks off towards the north and east. So futurecast moving forward, everything gets going later on tonight, especially by around midnight, some snow likely. And of course, the stacked isobars here indicating some strong gusty winds up to 45 to even 60 miles per hour at times. Will transition to rain throughout the morning period on Wednesday, continuing in parts of the afternoon with warmer temperatures on the way. But the system clears out of here pretty quickly. As we head towards later on, we'll start to see this getting out of here pretty fast. So fortunately, this is not a long-lasting system, no, as they'll be out of here pretty quickly by Thursday, but still some fanfare to watch out for. Here's the snow accumulations, though. Again, here we go. So we're going to be watching for around 8 to 12 inches of snow farther off towards the north, maybe a few locally higher amounts, and maybe 2 to 5 inches of snow farther down to the south. So this time, the higher totals will be farther off towards the north. As for the water, though, this counts in the snow as well. 1 to 2 inches of water possible before we're all finished up. This is rain and melted down snow, so a lot of water on the way here across the region. And gusty winds, not so much of an issue today, though. The winds will be rather quiet, but look what's happening tomorrow. Gusty winds increasing over time, getting close to around 60 miles per hour at times in some cases. Again, power outages and some downed trees will be possible as a result of this. As our average temperature is 28 degrees, we'll do upper 20s today. The upper 40s Wednesday, back in the low 40s Thursday. We're back in the lower 30s Friday. Upper 40s again Saturday with another storm system moving in. The upper 20s again Sunday and also into Monday. So for today, we'll say upper 20s, mostly cloudy, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Later on tonight, middle 20s, snow likely, higher totals further off towards the north. Southeast wind at about 45 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 40s, wintry mix to rain, strong winds as well. Southeast wind getting up to about 60 miles per hour. Alrighty, here's looking at extended forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers. A partly cloudy sky Thursday, highs in the lower 40s, lower 30s Friday with a lot of sunshine. Another wintry mess moving in on Saturday with highs in the upper 40s.
Does your dream kitchen look like this? Or this? Or maybe you need a little more inspiration. Get it when you explore the complete in-store showroom displays at Hammond Lumber Company. When you find the look you like, the Hammond team will help you customize it, including accurate 3D renderings, so you can visualize your project before the work begins. Hammond offers delivery from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire and professional service after the sale. Your dream kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Quitting smoking, vaping, and other tobacco may be tough, but you can do it. Even if you don't get it right the first time, don't give up. Working with a quit coach increases your chances of successfully quitting, especially combined with quit medications. That's why each quit program through the Maine Quit link offers free patches, gum, and/or lozenges and helps you build a customized quit plan. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or enroll online at mainequitlink.com. It's free and it works.
My father worked at the mill for over 30 years. He was exposed to a great community and excelled at his job, but he was also exposed to asbestos. The air quality inside the mill was always his biggest complaint. He had no idea how deadly some of the products and materials were. When he was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew to call Joe Bornstein's office to get my dad the help he needs and the justice he deserves.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota Equipment, the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience, with professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
Welcome back, everyone. Israel says it's shifting its focus to central and southern Gaza, bringing new tactics to the fight after 3 months of heavy civilian casualties. Fox's Alex Hogan has more from Tel Aviv.
After 3 months of intense fighting, Israel says its Gaza offensive is officially entering a new phase. An IDF spokesperson claims the Hamas threat is mostly eliminated in the north, and now the military will turn its attention to central and southern Gaza. But they say this phase is expected to be significantly less intense, meaning fewer ground troops, airstrikes, and more targeted attacks.
It might not be the end, but it could be the beginning of the end, because we're seeing the destruction of Hamas's military machine in the northern Gaza Strip.
It could also mean a greater focus on taking out the militant leadership. Last week, a top Hamas commander was killed in Beirut, and on Monday, another targeted assassination. Israel reportedly taking out Hezbollah commander Vissal al-Tawid, who reportedly led the group's most elite fighters. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hinting there could be more to come.
We gave him an example of what is happening to his friends in the south. This is what will happen here in the north. We will do everything to restore security.
But civilians in Gaza are skeptical about this new phase of the war. They say the situation is already so dire, simply ending the airstrikes won't help at this point, and more aid is needed to avoid a humanitarian catastrophe.
I don't know where to stay. I don't know where my children will sleep. Will they sleep on the sand? There is no safe place. There is no hygiene. There is no life.
And U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is back in Israel on Monday, pushing for a new potential ceasefire and more aid for civilians. In Tel Aviv, Israel, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Meanwhile, authorities in Southern California say a woman survived 4 nights in the Angeles National Forest after her truck tumbled down a cliff. The woman was rescued after a hiker saw the car. Fox's Christy Fajardo has that story.
I don't think I'd last 5 days.
Everyone who sees the wreckage has the same reaction. They can't believe the driver who was inside this cabin survived. Not only the accident, but days with no help on frigid Mount Baldy. And adding to her incredible luck, a 30-year-old hiker finally spotted the wreck and reported it.
Real lucky, man. 5 days. Jeez. Yeah, she's lucky because the car's like down in the bush and you can't even see it.
Very fortunate, especially with the extreme conditions we've been having this last week, and that we're expecting to continue to have in the upcoming week or weeks. Very low overnight cold.
From the damage to the roof, it's clear the pickup rolled over as it tumbled down the cliff after going off Mount Baldy Road on Wednesday. Days went by until Sunday when that passing hiker saw the pickup. These photos from the San Dimas Mountain Rescue show what happened next. Firefighters say they had to rappel down to the woman who was trapped.
Patient was still awake and was able to talk.
She's now in the hospital. And a day later, crews had to use heavy machinery to pull the wreckage back up onto the road, where locals marvel at the tale of survival and caution others on the dangers of Mount Baldy.
You have to be careful. It snows up here. It's very icy up here.
If you're driving up there, please be mindful of the speed, be mindful of the road conditions.
Christy Fajardo, Fox 11 News.
Well, a disturbing new report finds the average liter of bottled water contains nearly 250,000 microplastics. Scientists, for the first time, have been able to detect them using a microscope with dual lasers. For a long time, it's been suspected that there were a lot of these microscopic plastic pieces in the water, but researchers at Columbia and Rutgers universities have been able to get an idea of just how bad the problem is. A study in Monday's Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences journal says the particle levels per liter range from 110,000 to 400,000, averaging around 240,000. Many come from the bottle itself.
If the plastic particles breaks up, it does not stop at micron size. It can actually go even smaller. So once the size goes below 1 micron, people call it nanoplastics, because now it's in its size is in the nano range.
Say that although the nanoplastics found do contain chemicals that are known carcinogens, further research is required to know if they're causing harm and how dangerous they can be. South Korea passed legislation on Tuesday to outlaw the consumption of dog meat. The South Korean National Assembly passed the bill by a 208-0 vote. The new bill ensures that by 2027, the slaughtering, breeding, trading, and sales of dog meat for consumption will be illegal and punishable by 3 years in prison. Dog meat consumption is a centuries-old practice in the country. Some recent surveys show that the majority of South Koreans no longer eat dog meat. However, 1 in 3 South Koreans still oppose that ban. All right, coming up on the second half of the newscast, parents of very young children are urged to limit screen time to help prevent developmental delays. That story and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
The Orono Arcade is an ideal birthday party destination. We have the best arcade video games, including Tomb Raider, Halo, Need for Speed, Mario Kart, and Luigi's Mansion. You are guaranteed to have hours of fun. Plus, we also have a 9-hole blacklight mini golf course that changes weekly. Allow us to provide hours of fun for you and your friends. You bring the cake, we'll provide the entertainment. Call us today to schedule your birthday party event, 889-3166.
Hi folks, this is Barry Gass of Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear in Orono. We've been in business since 1911, and our third-generation family-owned business can't wait to show you our unique line of Western wear and Western tack. We have Western boots, shirts, hats, belts, and buckles for the entire family, and Western tack from bridles to saddles and everything in between for your horse.
Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear, where the American West comes alive in Maine.
My uncle was a commercial fisherman, so grew up going fishing with him. And I found this apprenticeship program that seemed to have a lot of room for growth. You get to learn more. I applied for that, landed at Ferta Farms. The owners are great, laid back, but we get our work done.
You'd have someone make a 2,000-hour commitment to you, and you, in turn, make that commitment to train them. With Matt's help, I think we could double the size of the farm. I don't know of any other way that we could provide it without the apprentice program, you know.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. It's also National Law Enforcement Day. It's a day to show law enforcement officers how much we appreciate the sacrifices and risks they take for all of us. Our nation's first police department was created in New York back in 1845, and they continue to be the first people to call when we need help. This holiday was created by several organizations back in 2015 as a way to show gratitude and to also show officers in a more positive light. All right, time for some history now. On this day in history, back in 1839, the French Academy of Science announced the first ever photograph. The photo was taken by Louis Jacques Madoude and showed a busy street in Paris, France. In 1861, the first shots in the Civil War were fired. That's when a steamship called the Star of the West was fired on by Confederates as it attempted to enter Charleston Harbor. In 1931, Bobby Trout and Edna Mae Cooper broke an endurance record for female aviators when they returned to Los Angeles after flying continuously for 122 hours and 50 minutes. In 1951, the United Nations officially opened its headquarters in New York. In 2006, shock jock Howard Stern moved his show to Sirius Satellite Radio under a 5-year, $500 million agreement. It was big news at the time. And in 2007, Apple CEO Steve Jobs unveiled the first ever iPhone. It would go on sale for between $499 and $599. All right, birthdays today. They include rocker Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, who turns 79 years old today. Musician Dave Matthews turns 56. And actor J.K. Simmons turns 68 years old. You know J.K. Simmons. You may not know his name, but you've seen him in a million films. And I think he does, he does Farmers Insurance, too. Those kind of cute little commercials. So anyway, happy birthday to all of them. If they were in Maine with us today, they would be getting ready for another storm that's expected to blow in tonight, bringing very strong winds. For more on what we could expect, let's turn things over to Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig, thank you very much. Happy Tuesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers, offering discounted and a great selection of local produce, meat, and dairy. As we get into things this morning, we have a lot of advisories to break down, though, and we have winter storm warnings posted till 8 a.m. Wednesday morning for the counties highlighted here in the pink. Winter storm watch is still in the blue here. Some flood alerts also posted as well, and also some wind alerts too. Wind advisories and high wind warnings are also posted through Wednesday afternoon because of some of those gusty winds that will be observed. We also have winter weather advisories along the coast, some flood alerts also posted as well, and also some hurricane force wind warnings and storm warnings along the coast. We have a lot going on here because of the active weather that will be expected to move in. For now, you wouldn't think so. The radar and satellites looking pretty quiet out there, at least in our backyard, but the clouds will be moving in throughout the daytime period today. As we do zoom things out and give you the bigger picture, look at all this right here. This is all tracking from the southwest and going to the north and east, and this will start to affect us coming up later on tonight and the parts of tomorrow. So futurecast moving forward, increasing clouds will be common today. Again, it's later on tonight, especially by around midnight or so, where the snow will move in, and strong gusty winds up to 50 to even 60 miles per hour possible late tonight and the parts of tomorrow as well. So for the rest of today, we'll say upper 20s, mostly cloudy or increasing clouds, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. As we move ahead towards tonight, though, middle 20s, so likely it will be windy as well. The higher totals will be farther off towards the north, and a southeast wind gusting up to around 45 miles per hour at times. As we head towards tomorrow, upper 40s, a wind shear mix will switch over to rain, very windy. Southeast wind gusting up to around 60 miles per hour at times, so power outages may be possible as a result of the wind. Your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, increasing clouds, temperatures making into the upper 20s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig?
All right, thank you very much, Devin. Well, parents might want to avoid putting their young children in front of a screen until a certain age. A new study shows that children who use screens before 3 years old could experience developmental delays. Researchers at Drexel University looked at screen habit data from nearly 1,500 children younger than 2. They found 1-year-olds who spend time in front of screens have a 105% higher chance of developing sensory processing issues by the time they're 33 months. The study findings add to a list of concerns linked to screen time for toddlers, which include sleep problems, autism, and difficulties paying attention. According to the research posted in JAMA Pediatrics, each hour of daily screen time could increase the chance of sensory issues for babies until 2 years old. Just to be safe, maybe keep them away from those screens until they're at least 3. Maybe limit them a little bit after that, too. All right, when we come back, Tyler Cruz, all the day sports news. We'll also have more on your weather forecast. Don't go away.
Don't get cold feet this winter. Stay warm and dry with high-performance footwear from Comfort Shoes and More. With an extensive selection of winter boots rated from 0 to minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll find comfort in knowing your feet will be warm in any weather. Discover the latest in functional and fashionable footwear with grippers built right into the sole. With boots in stock up to 6E and size 17 for men and women. Take the drive to Newport for a sit and fit to find your perfect fit. You and your feet will be glad you did.
At Warren Financial, your financial goals are our priority. Your financial plan may appear to be all about savings and investing, but in reality, it's about much more. Your life, your family, and your legacy. That's why the financial planner you choose is so important.
Plan your future with Warren Financial. Visit warrenfinancialplan.com or call 573-1825.
Your trusted partner in wealth management.
I'm sorry. I cannot let you in here.
The only thing that should be in a baby crib is a baby. Letting a baby sleep with blankets and toys can be dangerous. Learn how safe sleeping practices can save your baby's life at safesleepforme.org.
Hammond Lumber Company is looking for great people to join their team. To find your place on the Hammond team, click on the careers link at hammondlumber.com.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin on the basketball court. It was a great weekend for Maine basketball down in Portland. Cooper and Ace Flag making their return to the Pine Tree State with Montverde Academy for the main event, and it was everything it was hyped up to be.
Oh, for sure. It's cool. Come on. He's back home. Things sold out in less than 12 hours. I made the statement. No, I'm not afraid to say it out loud. He's the best white American basketball player since Larry Bird. And anybody thinks any different, they're crazy.
This weekend in Portland, Cooper and Ace Flag had their homecoming, and it was everything they expected.
Felt great. Great environment, great atmosphere. We just come home and get a win.
You know, just being around Maine, you know, everyone's got full support of you. So when you're playing here, you know, no matter what happens, you know, everyone's going to be behind you the full way.
It was called the main event, put on by Made Hoops, where the Flags Montverde Academy Eagles played 2 games back home in front of 2 sellout crowds.
I think it exceeded all expectations. Like I said, just an incredible environment and just a lot of fun.
And it's definitely an honor to be able to represent this state. If I could pick anywhere to live, I would live here. You know, I've grown up here, lived here most of my life.
I'm just super happy for Ace and Cooper. This is probably the last time they'll get to play in Maine.
The Eagles put on a show, as they normally do, taking down Gonzaga College High on Friday night before dominating Cats Academy on Saturday. And the whole event really marks a full circle ending for the Flag Boys. Once young fans in the crowd, now the main attraction, something they'll never forget.
All right, certainly was a fun event in Portland, and I'd be remiss to mention the main event without talking about a few other Mainers making their return to the courts in Maine this weekend. Before the Montverde game on Saturday, St. Paul's School in New Hampshire suited up for a game with Bangor's Landon Clark and Oxford Hill's Tegan Pelletier suiting up for the Pelicans. Landon was a star for Bangor High 2 years before heading to St. Paul's. Tegan, the same with the Vikings. Both were also huge for Maine United this summer too, and here were their thoughts on this weekend's homecoming for them.
That was really cool. I want to thank the Maine community, just everybody in Maine showing up to the game. Maybe it was not for our game, but still it was really cool having a great crowd, a familiar place. It was just a great feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Even with, playing with Maine United, we didn't get to play in Maine a lot. So just to see a lot of familiar faces here and kind of play in front of them was pretty cool.
All right, a whole lot of fun down there. Let's move on to some football now. It was snowy, windy, and overall just not a good day in Foxborough on Sunday. The Patriots finishing a historically poor season with a 17-3 loss at home to the New York Jets, but the game was more than just the end to the season. It could have very well marked the last game in Bill Belichick's career with the Patriots. The legendary coach who led the team to 9 Super Bowl appearances, 6 Lombardi trophies, and 20 years of success could be on his way out. It's the Pats' second straight losing season. There are a lot of questions. Belichick supposedly meeting with Robert Kraft this week to discuss the future of the franchise and whether or not Bill will be a part of that future.
I'm under contract, do what I always do, which is, every day I come in, work as hard as I can to help the team in whatever way I can. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. Look, I'm for whatever, collectively we decide as an organization is the best thing to help our football team. And, I have multiple roles in that, and I rely on a lot of people to help me in those responsibilities.
Should be interesting to see what happens there. We'll have our eye on that. To the basketball court now. Celtics in action in Indiana, trying to make it 2 wins in a row against the Pacers. C's trying to stay hot. They are on the road this time in Indiana. Second quarter, Jaylen Brown is going to get it in the corner. Defense is all over him, but that does not matter. He's going to pull up and splash home the 3-ball. 25 points for him in the first half. Skipping ahead to the fourth quarter now, C's down 2. Buddy Hield gets it. Miscommunication on the screen, and he ends up with a wide open 3. Boston down 3 now. Drew Holiday has it. He gets it over to Al Horford, and he knocks down a triple of his own. We are all tied up. After a foul was reversed on Jaylen Brown, Pacers win it. Benedict Mathurin puts up a 3, and they get Porzingis on the shooting foul. He would make 2 of 3, so here come the Celtics. One last chance to send it to overtime. Cornette can't connect off the lob. Pacers win 133 to 131. All right, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
At AAA, saving money means as much to us as it does to our members. Nikki saved her family over $450 by switching to AAA auto insurance. Marianne switched and saved $350. And Philip saved over $400. Now is a great time to review your auto insurance policy. AAA is here to help you with your auto, home, and life insurance needs. Call 844-AAA Insurance or visit AAA.com for an auto insurance quote today. AAA, we're always with you.
Maine Quit Link offers free help to stop smoking and vaping, including personalized quit plans and free patches, gum, and/or lozenges with every program. Get connected to a quit coach, trained to develop a plan that works for you. Learn how to curb cravings and overcome slips and relapses. It's free, it works, and people who enroll are 2 times more likely to successfully quit. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or enroll online at mainequitlink.com.
People ask me all the time, are those commercials really true? Does Lowry & Associates really get all of those clients, all of those big settlements? Yes, we do. We really have gotten millions of dollars for Mainers hurt by commercial vehicles. And the insurance companies know when you call the twos, we're going to fight for you. And you know what else is true? I really am standing on top of this big truck.
Hurt by a big truck? Call the twos. We win for you.
And welcome back. We're going to send it over to Devin Biggs one final time for a look at that forecast.
Alrighty, Craig, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers, offering discounted and a great selection of local produce, meat, and dairy. Already, we have a lot going on here. So we have winter storm warnings up until 8 a.m. Wednesday. Winter storm watch itself for the northwestern parts of the state until 10 a.m. Wednesday as well. At some point, that will be changed to warnings for some other advisory. We also have some wind alerts that are posted as well, high wind warnings and wind advisories as well. Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour possible. That will cause some issues with the trees and power lines as well. On top of that, though, some more winter weather advisories along the coast, some flood alerts also posted. Hurricane force wind warnings also posted along the coast, as well as storm warnings. We have a lot to watch out for with the system that will be on the way. Wave heights aren't too bad just yet at around 4 to 5 feet, but this map's really going to get active coming up soon with the system that will be moving in pretty quickly. But otherwise, though, the radar and satellite, you wouldn't think there's anything going on right now, right? Because everything's looking pretty quiet in our backyard. But as we zoom things out, here's this fanfare right here, though. The system that's really getting its act together with snow across parts of the Midwest, some showers and thunderstorms further down to the south. We'll have our turn for a wintry mess that will be moving in pretty quickly as high pressure tracks off towards the north and east. So futurecast moving forward, everything gets going later on tonight, especially by around midnight, some snow likely. And of course, the stacked isobars here indicating some strong gusty winds up to 45 to even 60 miles per hour at times. We'll transition to rain throughout the morning period on Wednesday, continuing in parts of the afternoon with warmer temperatures on the way. But the system clears out of here pretty quickly. As we head towards later on, we'll start to see this getting out of here pretty fast. So fortunately, this is not a long-lasting system, though, as they'll be out of here pretty quickly by Thursday, but still some fanfare to watch out for. Here's the snow accumulations, though. Again, here we go. So we're going to be watching for around 8 to 12 inches of snow farther off towards the north, maybe a few locally higher amounts, and maybe 2 to 5 inches of snow farther down to the south. So this time, the higher totals will be farther off towards the north. As for the water, though, this counts in the snow as well. 1 to 2 inches of water possible before we're all finished up. up. This is rain and melted down snow, so a lot of water on the way here across the region. And gusty winds, not so much of an issue today, though the winds will be rather quiet. But look what's happening tomorrow. Gusty winds increasing over time, getting close to around 60 miles per hour at times in some cases. Again, power outages and some down trees will be possible as a result of this. As our average temperature is 28 degrees, we'll do upper 20s today. The upper 40s Wednesday, back in the low 40s Thursday. We're back in the lower 30s Friday. Upper 40s again Saturday with another storm system moving in. The upper 20s again Sunday and also into Monday. So for today, we'll say upper 20s, mostly cloudy, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Later on tonight, middle 20s, snow likely, higher totals further off towards the north. Southeast wind at about 45 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 40s, wintry mix to rain, strong winds as well. Southeast wind getting up to about 60 miles per hour. All right, here's a look at extended forecast brought to you by Tip Trailer Grocers. A partly cloudy sky Thursday, highs in the lower 40s, lower 30s Friday with a lot of sunshine. Another wintry mess moving in on Saturday with highs in the upper 40s.
Healing Hands Massage in Hamden provides professional massage services tailored specifically for our clients. Healing Hands Massage offers a variety of different massage techniques and services. Healing Hands Massage also offers spa services such as facials, body scrubs, and paraffin wax for the hands and feet. Are you looking for a day of relaxation? Healing Hands Massage offers outstanding packages at reasonable rates. Whether you're looking for relief from chronic pain, stiffness, or just want to treat yourself to a day of relaxation, Healing Hands Massage is the place for you.
As soon as you come out from your carpentry apprenticeship class, you get straight to work with everybody else. You can go into that carpentry apprenticeship class with no skills. They will teach you, they will make sure that you're comfortable before they ever send you out. An apprenticeship is better because, especially me, I'm a very hands-on learner. I wanted to go from having a job that paid my bills to having a passion and a career that really would take me places.
My father started a roofing company in the 1970s.
Back when asbestos was still commonly used in Maine.
When George was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew there wasn't a cure yet, but we knew he needed help.
We called Joe Bornstein's office because this family means business.
Their team is handling everything, representing Mainers who were victims of asbestos exposure.
We highly recommend the law offices of Joe Bornstein.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
Pat's Pizza in Holden has recently expanded their seating capacity. Call now for reserving your event or holiday party with us. The new indoor golf simulators are open for the season. Call now for reservations.
The second semifinal matchup is here.
That's exhilarating.
Which celebrity will advance to the Celebrity Jeopardy final?
Quick thumbs, Steven over here. I've got the God thumb!
Celebrity Jeopardy, new tonight on ABC.
Well, it's about all the time we have for this hour. Good Morning America is next on ABC 7. We'll continue broadcasting on Fox 22 for the next 2 hours. But if you're heading out for the day, we hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll keep you up to date.